Good morning everyone. Through this video, I will explain the techniques of rainwater harvesting in urban and rural areas. Before going to the techniques, we should know the definition of rainwater harvesting. The rainwater harvesting is defined as it is the collection and storage of rainwater for drinking, domestic purposes, and irrigation is termed as rainwater harvesting, or it is the process of artificially enhancing groundwater recharge at a rate exceeding natural rate of recharge by putting proper structures. So this indicates the why to harvest rainwater, means it is the objective of rainwater harvesting or the necessity of rainwater harvesting. So let us see one by one. First one, to conserve surface water runoff during monsoon and to augment groundwater table. Second one, to improve the quality of groundwater. Third one, to save energy in lifting water. 1 meter rise in water levels saves zero point 0.4 kilowatt hour of energy. Fourth one, to reduce the soil erosion. We can easily reduce the soil erosion by providing the rainwater harvesting technique. Fourth one, by providing the rainwater harvesting, can easily prevent the seawater ingress in the coastal regions or coastal areas. Sixth one, decrease in choking of stormwater drains and flooding of roads. Can easily prevent the flooding of roads as well as choking of stormwater drains by providing the rainwater harvesting. Seventh one, to create a culture of water conservation. So here the some of the techniques of rainwater harvesting in urban area as well as rural area. So I have listed already here the techniques of rainwater harvesting in urban area. So first one is recharge pit, second one recharge trench, third one tube well, fourth one recharge well. Similarly, some of the techniques of rainwater harvesting for rural area. First one is gully plug, second one contour bunding, third one check dam, it is also called as nala bund, fourth one percolation tank, fifth one recharge shaft, sixth one dug well recharge, and seventh one subsurface dike. So what are the salient features of groundwater recharge techniques? First one, quantum of water to be recharged is large. Means the quantity of water is to be large in a large. Second one, a space available for recharge is also in plenty. Means that the more space is available for recharge of water. Third one, therefore, surface spreading techniques are common for rural groundwater recharge. Fourth one, watershed is considered as a unit. So let us see one by one the techniques for groundwater recharge in rural areas. The first one, gully plug. So gully plugs are provided in hilly slopes extremely. It is built along hilly slopes across gullies or small streams. So gullies are nothing but deep channels in a land. Built along hilly slopes across gullies or small streams using locally available stone, clay, etc. So gully plugs are constructed with the help of stones and clay material. And better selection where slope breaks so as to have some storage behind. So by providing the gully plug, we can easily prevent the soil erosion and conserve soil moisture. Conserve soil moisture. So here in the gully plug is constructed by vesicular basalt here, and it is the clay. Here it is the water table is there. It is the masonry units. Okay. Second one, contour bund. So these are suitable in low rainfall area. So where the rainfall is low, then we are construct the contour bunds. By constructing bunds on sloping grounds, especially these bunds are constructed on a sloping ground, all along the contour of equal elevation. Already we know the definition of contour. It is the same elevation. The flowing of water is intercepted before it attains erosive velocity by keeping suitable spacing between the bunds. It is one of the effective methods to conserve the soil moisture in water set for a long duration. By providing the counterband, we can easily prevent the conservation of soil. The spacing between two bunds depends upon the slopes. So this is the spacing. Spacing between the two bunds it is depend upon the slope and area and permeability of soil. So already we know the meaning of permeability. It is the percolation of water through the soil voids. Third one, check dam, or it is also called as Nala Bund. So these are constructed across a stream with gentle slope. And these dams should have sufficient thickness of permeable bed. Water confined within the bank of stream. The height of the dam not exceed 1.5 to 2 meter in generally. The excess of water flows above wall. It may be constructed with masonry or concrete. It may be constructed with masonry or concrete. A downstream water cushion chamber required to prevent the scouring. So here one of the chamber is provided, that is called as cushion. It is provided at the downstream side. By providing this, can easily prevent the scouring. Fourth one, percolation tank. It is to be constructed on highly fractured or weathered rock, having lateral continuity, especially in the downstream side, with a number of wells. It is a water body created by submerging highly permeable land so that the surface runoff percolates and recharge groundwater storage. Normally, the percolation tank having storage capacity of 0.1 to 0.5 MCM million cubic meter, designed to provide water column of 3 to 4.5 meter. So percolation tank is to be designed by providing the water column. The height of the water column is 3 to 4.5 meter in general. They are mostly earthen dams with masonry spillway. So percolation tanks are constructed with the help of soil. So here one spillway is there, that is constructed with the help of a masonry, either in concrete or in the fabric masonry. Fifth one, recharge shaft. So in rainy season, the village tanks are filled up, but water does not percolate due to siltation in the tanks, and this water gets evaporated after some months. By constructing the recharge shafts in tanks, this water can be recharged to groundwater. The diameter of the shaft is around 0.5 to 3 meter and depth is 10 to 15 meter depending upon the availability of water. The top of shaft is kept at half of full supply depth of tank. So this arrow mark indicates it is the evaporation of water. Shaft is filled with filter material like boulders, gravel and coarse sand. Shaft should end in more permeable strata below the top impermeable strata. So here two zones are there. One is permeable and another one is impermeable strata. The most efficient and cost effective technique to recharge unconfined aquifer. So it is one of the important techniques and it is one of the cost effective technique to recharge the unconfined aquifer. Sixth one, dug well recharge. Existing and abandoned dug wells may be utilized as recharge structure after cleaning and desilting the same. The recharge water is guided through a pipe from distilling chamber to the bottom of well or below the water level to avoid scouring of bottom and entrapment of air bubbles in the aquifer. Recharge water should be silt free, and for removing the silt contents, the runoff water should pass either through a desilting chamber or filter chamber. A periodic chlorination should be done for controlling the bacteriological contaminants. Seventh one, subsurface dike. The subsurface dike or underground dam is a subsurface barrier across a stream which retards the base flow and stores water upstream below the ground surface. By doing so, the water levels in upstream part of groundwater dams rises, saturating otherwise dry part of aquifer. The site where subsurface dike is proposed should have shallow impervious layer with wide valley and a narrow outlet. So these are constructed at a shallow impervious layer and where the valley is wide and where the outlet is narrow. After selection of suitable site, a trench of 1.2-meter wide is dug across the breadth of stream down to impermeable bed. The trench may be filled with clay or brick, concrete wall up to 0.5 meter below the ground level. For ensuring total imperviousness, a PVC sheets or low density polythene film can be used to cover the cutout dike faces. Since the water is stored within the aquifer, submergence of land can be avoided and land above the reservoir can be utilized even after the construction of dam. No evaporation loss from the reservoir, no siltation in the reservoir takes place. The potential disaster like collapse of the dams can also be avoided.